on, y'all? Here at Nash Dogs in Nashville, Tennessee. Just had my man Michael hook me up with the bear dog. Michael is a Forte podcast guest. This is what I do. Well, we all help each other. So I'm out here doing a pop-up and I'm gonna taste it and you're gonna see how good it tastes.
He's about to get that Nash Dogs experience right now.
A few minutes before.
All right, Forteers, we're at Opry Mills Mall in Nashville, Tennessee at a place called Nash Dogs. We're looking at the owner called Michael. Michael, tell these people, what's your forte?
So I am the owner and operator of Nash Dogs here in Opry Mills Mall. We sell 100% Angus beef dogs. We got about 22 different toppings. And Randall's about to try our bear dog, which is homemade chili, grilled onion, cheddar cheese on a 100% Angus beef dog and a honey hot dog bun. So I'm gonna show y'all how to put that together right here.
Let's go.
All right, so we've already got the Angus beef dog on here. We grill these up to like 165 degrees. We get our bun toasted on there. Get some fresh onion. A little oil. We use soybean oil. A little seasoning on those. We're gonna drop the top on that for just a minute. All right, so our onions are nice and sauteed. You wanna zoom in on that right there, showing what you're getting? We got some nice grilled onions. We're gonna take our nice toasted bun, 100% Angus beef dog, and we take this shredded cheese. All right, and then this is our famous chili right here. We make this fresh every morning. It's ground beef, tomato sauce, beans, and a mild seasoning. Finish this off. Got our grilled onion. And that, folks, right there is a bear dog.
Yes, yes, sir.
He's about to get that Nash Dogs experience right now.
Yeah.
The fire?
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in at once, ain't it?
It's a lot of flavor.
So you got that Angus beef in there.
I'm trying to play cool because I'm on camera right now. My mama said don't talk with your mouth full. It's good, man. It's good. I like the bread. Yeah, it's nice and toasty.
And that bun is really important right there. You can't have a soft, terrible bun.
All right, I'm about to smash this, guys.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Holler at Randall later.
What up? Welcome to the Forte Podcast. I am your co-host, Dominic Epps.
And I'm your co-host, Randall Monfils.
And we are here to dive into your lane of greatness to discover what comes easy for you that may not be easy for all others.
Everyone's a genius, from the 9-to-5 employee to the Fortune 500 billionaire. We're here to highlight those attributes through dialogue and interviews with amazing guests.
And so once again, we got another fire episode with an amazing guest, but I got one question for you.
What's that, bro?
What's your forte? Let's
go.
What's up, man? What's up? All right, y'all. We're back again for another fire episode. And we're so excited. We're so excited to be before you once again today. We have an amazing guest, so we're going to dive right into it. We're going to get him out the green room real quick. All right, we're going to bring him out the green room. I want him to go ahead and introduce himself, coming from the great city of Nashville. What's up, Mike? Come on, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? Thank y'all for having me on.
Yes, sir.
You.
Yes, sir.
Very excited to be here with y'all.
All right, Mike, if you could, man.
Feeling the background. Bro. I'm feeling it. You in the field right now. Let's go.
Yeah, man, we're on the food truck right now. I just finished up out here.
All right.
So,
right.
Mike, y'all said y'all want to introduce myself. So,
yeah.
Michael Spencer, I'm out of Nashville, Tennessee. I'm the owner of Nash Dogs. We're a food truck and restaurant located here in Nashville, about 3 years old, and we are growing and on the move. So, very excited to be talking about it tonight.
Gotcha,
in the food truck. Live, yeah. Hey man, let's go ahead and give it up, man. Let's go, man. He's live in the food truck, man. That's what I'm talking about.
I want to drive this home. Yo, he's in the food truck. Matter of fact, he took time out of his schedule. He just finished closing up the food truck from serving food to jump on the podcast, man. So, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm always trying to gotta take advantage of the opportunities that God puts in front of you. You know, so I know I was running a couple minutes behind tonight, but I was at that food truck event. It finished about 7 o'clock, and it's been a long day, but just
That's cool, man. So Mike, tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, are you from Nashville, Tennessee? Tell us a little bit about your upbringing, like where you from, and large family, small family. Let us in a little bit on who is Micah Spencer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll kind of start from, let's say like 2014, 2015. I used to work in a large box store doing retail, and I kind of worked my way up. As like a customer service associate to the assistant store manager, and I was in a training program to take over the store. I worked as sales manager for a while, and the store that I was working in, I grew our sales by about $2.5 million in a year. I had a $12.5 million portfolio, and was doing really good, making a lot of money for somebody else, And I got really tired of grinding for somebody else's dream, And in 2014, my son was born, Roman. He's 10 now. We've got a wife. We've been together since we met in middle school, started dating in high school, married in college. We've been together for 16 years. I'm 32, so we've been together for
Salute, brother.
half my life.
Salute.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, man, she's a good woman, and honestly, I am where I am because of her.
Yeah.
She holds me down and lifts me up. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yep.
So had to do something more for the family. So around 2018, 2019, I just I started really digging into my entrepreneur mindset. I always knew I wanted to own a business. What wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. I've always been great with numbers, and I've always been great at turning $1 into $10, something like that. So
10x in your money.
Yeah, absolutely, 10x. And I met this guy that owned a food truck. I was the place that I worked for. They told me to hire someone to come out and feed 200 people. It was going to be a 3-hour event, and they wanted a quote. So he told me $2,000 for 3 hours worth of work. And at that time, I was making about $200 for 12 hours worth of work. I was scheduled for 8 to 10 hours, but being an assistant store manager on a salary, you might go in there and work 12, 14 hours. So talking to that man and him telling me how much he was making in that short amount of time, it really just kind of broadened my thinking. Not that I didn't know before, but just to hear it and have somebody in front of you, tell you what they're making. And at that time, I was working with like a lot of contractors and stuff as well. And these guys would come in and spend $50,000 in one transaction. And I'm just trying to think, like, it's gonna take me a year to make that how I'm making money right now. So I don't think that God makes anybody better than anyone else. We all have the same breath in our body and the same opportunity. We come from different circumstances, but you either gonna complain about it, and not do anything about it, or you're gonna, you're gonna feel it and get to it, So only I just saw the opportunity to be more, to have more, to create more for myself. I'm after generational wealth of, monetary resources, knowledge, I'm trying to build generational resources for myself, and making $200 a day is not going to do it. So you asked me if I come from a huge family. I've got a pretty close-knit family. I've got a brother and a sister, mom. We struggled growing up. We were homeless for a period of time, slept in our car. We come from a very rough part of Nashville. My father was murdered in '95, and I went to live with my grandma for a while. So my father was a victim of violence.
a young black man trying to do what he needed to do to take care of his family back in the 90s. And unfortunately, he got wrapped up in some stuff that really didn't, fare well for him. So we lost him. I was 3.5. And, I've just always known that if I was going to get it, I had to do it. My grandmas, my mom, they did everything that they could to put me in a good position. But at some point, you got to have money in that situation. So $200 a day wasn't going to cut it. And working for somebody 12 hours a day and feeling not appreciated, not having time for my family, my son, my wife, it's just unacceptable. There's guys out here that make $10,000 a day. There's guys that make $10,000 a minute.
Yeah.
What I do know is, it don't matter really about them, but what all that shows me is that them guys have just figured out a different way to do it, and I don't think that they may be smarter in some areas than me, but they're no better than me. I can figure it out. You put it in front of me, I'll get to it. So I figured out that I wanted a food truck. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. So I started researching. I landed on hot dogs, and I wanted to do. I'm a very high quality person. I don't like to cut corners. If you're going to do something, you got to do it right. So I serve 100% Angus beef hot dogs. They're grilled on a flat top. They're grilled to perfection with hand chopped toppings that we prepare daily. We've got fresh chili. We've got like 20 different toppings on our menu.
So Mike, let me
everything
butt
is
in right
fresh.
quick, Mike. Let me butt in right quick.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
So you working for this job, and they ask you to book a food truck for the company for some event that you all are having at the company, right? You contact this vendor. He tells you that he quotes a price for $2,000 for 3 hours to serve 200 people, right?
Right.
And you basically saw your boss cut the check with no problem.
Yeah, actually, they said it was, they moved forward on it and they wanted another food truck out there, and I'm just thinking like, at that time, I thought it was 3 hours. Like now, as a food truck owner that's been doing this for almost 4 years, it's not 3 hours worth of work. There's 2 hours on the front end, there's 3 hours on the back end.
Right.
He's working for that money, but at the end of the day, he's got $2,000 in his pocket, and he can decide where it goes.
Right.
I was making that place 20 grand a day, and at the end of the day, they're like, here's $200.
Right. So
go ahead.
Did he become like a mentor, or did you just use that to make you want to go? You started studying about food trucks. So did you actually ask him questions of how you can get into the business?
Now, he was my fuel. And honestly, I've never talked with him before, but I always give him love. He's retired now. The name of his company was Dog Craze, and he sold hot dogs as well. He had like this psychedelic theme on his food truck. He retired right around COVID, which is when I started. I started in November of 2020. That's when I I sold my first hot dog in November, and he had retired sometime before that. So never got the opportunity to shake his hand or thank him. I did end up linking up with another hot dog guy, old head, and he's in his 60s. I just kind of told him what I wanted to do. And he broke bread with me and really gave me some good information on kind of how to get started. But and just to kind of shout him out, he's an older guy, but his name is Denny's Dogs. He sets up at a Lowe's, and I was just researching, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So YouTube University is where it's at. I hopped on YouTube, and there was this guy on there. You can learn anything on YouTube, man. If you want to do it, there's somebody on there that's already doing it or in the process. So there was a guy on there named Wayne. I always try to shout him out too, because he don't even know me, but Wayne's Hot Dog Stands on YouTube. He showed his process, and I've just got a very photogenic memory. And if I see something once, I can dissect it and figure out how to do it again, So I watched his videos on how to do it. And then I drew out my blueprint on what I wanted to do. So I built a hot dog stand for myself. And I worked on it over the course of about 5 months. Started in September of 2019 with a goal of being done by March of 2020. I left my job at that place I was working at in December. of 2019, and I was ready to go by March, but March 14th is when COVID shut the world down. So from March of 2020 to November of 2020, I worked as a handyman around Nashville. I would just go hang up TVs, paint rooms, like demo work, like whatever I could do. I was trying to make at least $200 a day.
Because you had quit your job at that time, right?
Absolutely. I was, and what's kind of wild about it is the folks who I was working with, they really started kind of taunting me after that. And they're like, oh, I thought you was going to build a hot dog stand and this, that, and third. And, every time they would see me, they're like, what's up with that hot dog stand? They didn't believe it. But my wife asked me in the beginning of November, she said, so are you ever going to use that hot dog stand? Or are you just going to let it sit in the garage? So I was like, I'm going to use it. So we sold our first hot dog at Hadley Park on Jefferson Street. It was like a $5 hot dog. We really, we were at our first event just trying to learn. And from there, man, we just, every day since then, it's been a blessing. We ended up setting up with this. Do y'all know what Swifty is? I don't know if y'all have Swifty in Atlanta or not. It's like it's like an old school gas station, like a self-serve spot.
Okay.
And so there was this old Swifty gas station. It was shut down, and Goodwill had moved in and taken it over. They turned it into a donation center. So in my community of Old Hickory, we got about 5,000 people that live in just this little zip code here. And it's on this main road called Old Hickory Boulevard. And people would dump their trash there because Goodwill, they packed up, they left, they took their big truck or whatever. But people just continue to use it as a dumping site. So I was driving by it every day. And I remember one day I complained about it out loud. And I'm like, I wonder if anybody's ever going to clean that up. Because it's like mattresses and couches, clothes, just junk, Just really not a good look for the community. So anyways, I needed this spot to set up on a regular basis. And I kept getting no's from everybody, So that day when I drove by there, I was like, I wonder if somebody's going to clean that up. And it was kind of a light bulb moment. So I called the realtor and I offered to keep the site clean in exchange for a spot to set up my hot dog stand. And that's really when Nash Dogs took off. So every day I would go clean whatever got dumped, and then I would have the spot to set the hot dog stand up for the day. And so anyways, we're this past December was 3 years. So we're coming up on 4 in this December. And we now have a location in Opry Mills Mall, which is like the biggest mall in Tennessee. We've got the hot dog stand, and we've also got this food truck. I've got about 10 people on my staff, and we are moving right along. I'm trying to turn this into a national franchise. That kind of brings you up to speed where we're at.
How far is that mall from downtown Nashville? Because I'm gonna be out there in mid-September, and the way you set it up with the chili Angus beef hot dog, you got me wanting to try some.
Yeah, but so it's less than 15 minutes from downtown. We get a lot of. It's actually it's a tourist mall. It's about 10 minutes from the airport, 15 minutes from downtown, and I don't know if you're flying in, but if you flew in, you could grab an Uber and you could be over there at our spot in like less than 10. It's right down the road. But the name of the mall is Opry Mills. Are you driving or are you flying?
Flying in. I'm flying in.
Yeah. Your airport is B&A, and you pop in Opry Mills in the GPS, and it's right down the road. You ain't gotta. It's on the same road, literally. But yeah. Anyways, we're right there in the entryway, and we get a lot of tourist traffic, and that's been a big blessing on kind of like validating our name and making us legit. We've started doing like corporate catering, and I've really started to expand the business into more than just single transaction hot dogs. It's wild what the business has turned into. And I just remember when I made that $12.5 million, I was like, if I could make 10% of that for myself, because like if I have the product, I can go out and turn it into something, So anyways, I believe in good customer service, serving the highest quality food and saying thank you, and, making sure the folks know that you're grateful, because, folks can go anywhere to eat. There's literally no exaggeration. Just in your city, there's probably 100,000 places for somebody to eat, so somebody can go anywhere, and for some reason you find them in front of you ready to, pay you their hard-earned money for your food. You got to treat them right, fill them up,
Yeah.
if you want them to come back.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you only do hot dogs, or is it like you have like French fries or something else like sides?
So right now we do Angus beef hot dogs and we do veggie dogs. We do chili bowls, and then like for our catering setups, we do like potato salad, macaroni salad, cornbread muffins. We do um, we but as far as like other sides like that, we're very limited on the food truck and in the mall. Um, it's a very much of a bootstrap operation, if you will. So our food trailer, it does. You can see this hood over here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's no fire. There's no fire suppression, right? So the reason there's no fire suppression is because of something called grease laden vapors. So with the hot dogs that I have, um, they don't put off enough grease to require me to have fire suppression. Therefore, the fire department gives me a pass on having that fire suppression, which means I can't do French fries. So eventually, I'm gonna do that, but I'm just trying to. Right now, I'm just trying to grease the processes as they are, and then kind of build out from there. You know.
Got
Yeah,
it.
do
Got
what
it.
do
Got
what
it.
works. Do what works, man. If the hot dogs is selling, stick to the hot dogs. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's cool, man. Randall, I want to let you know, man, how I met Mike. So I met Mike at the mixer event that Pinky Cole had put on, right? And here's what stood out, man, is that matter of fact, Mike, I'm gonna let you tell the story. Like, what got you to the Atlanta area on that day? Like, where were you coming from? Where were you at? Because when you told me the story, I was like, yo, like, this is some straight grind, man. So tell everybody about,
Yeah.
what got you there that day.
So I don't take a ton of vacations, but when I do, actually, let me plug this up. I'm sorry, give me one moment. I don't want this phone to go
Yep,
dead.
yep.
Okay. So, anyways, we were on our way back from Florida, Jacksonville, like just south of Jacksonville. Can y'all see me okay on the
Yeah,
camera?
you good. You good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. I can't see the other side. Anyways, we took a vacation. We were in this place called Cinnamon Beach. It's south of Jacksonville, and I'm really big on like entrepreneur podcasts. I'm all about mindset, and I believe that what you put in is what you're going to put out. So like even like I listen to a lot of hip hop, so I'm just really big on what you put in is what you put out. So I try to listen to a lot of stuff that kind of help my mindset. So, um, long story short, I was listening to a podcast with Pinky Cole and with Dave. And they were just she was talking about when you can put yourself in the room to brush shoulders with the right people, you can't miss that opportunity.
Mm.
So I'd listened to probably 3 or 4 episodes that she had posted just because Pinky Cole is very motivational, from where she came from, what she's doing, her husband as well. So
Yep.
anyways, he started in a 750 square foot gas station, and I resonate with that because I started outside of a gas station, and
Yeah.
I just know that if they can get it, they came from the same type area that I came from, so can I. So, long story short, we were driving from the Jacksonville area back home. We were coming through North Georgia, and that's when I was listening to the podcast. So, we got home about 11 p.m. in Nashville, and I was tired. We drove all day. We checked out in Jacksonville like 7, 8 a.m., something like that, and it was a hike. So I get home, I crash, and then the next morning I woke up, and I usually don't try to get on my phone right away, but something like I don't know. Yeah, I got on the phone, and the first post that I saw on Instagram was a post from Bar Vegan, and Pinky Cole had posted that she was holding a entrepreneurship seminar like that night at Bar Vegan. And what's the name of the area we were in?
Lawrenceville.
Um, yeah. So that's where that she
Yep.
said, send a message. Let me know if you're interested. So I sent that message, and as soon as I pressed send, I was like, bro, now you got to go to, like, she's going to respond. Like, I felt it in my heart. She's
Yeah.
going to respond. Now, you really going to drive all the way back? And that's like a 4.5 hour drive. And this might sound a little stupid, but no matter how you cut it, 4.5 hour driving is
It's
4.5 hours. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So she ended up messaging me back, invited me out. And I went and told my wife, I was like, hey, I was like, you trying to go to Atlanta? And she's like, hell no, what you? I'm not. She's like, what? We just drove through Atlanta. What are you talking about? And I was like, well, I was listening to podcasts, and this is what was said in it, and I feel it in my heart that we need to go. And so I drove down there just to be in the room with Dave and Pinky and just have the opportunity to speak with them. And like she said in the podcast, take advantage of the opportunity to brush shoulders with somebody that's doing what I'm doing. And I gained a lot from that. I had the opportunity to speak with both of them. And I was thankful that they put into me, and gave me some of their energy.
Yeah.
And it really just it opened my eyes, because before you meet somebody in person, this might sound silly, but before you meet somebody, they come off that they have a higher mystique. They seem a little more mysterious, and sometimes they say don't meet your heroes, because you don't know how that interaction is going to go. But when I met them, it was exactly what I wanted it to be, and it showed me that, not no disrespect towards them or what they're doing, but they're no different than you and I. They're normal, they get up every day and they grind they grind, and they work hard to build their business, and they put their heart and soul into creating their brands, that has their name behind it. And they financially, they're in different positions to me, because they put in more work than I have up to this point. But as far as the human beings that they are, I just feel like that God has given all of us the same tools to work with, and meeting them really kind of brought me back to earth, as far as understanding that what I'm trying to achieve is very doable. I just got to do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So when you said that you, I know in 2018 that you shifted, or you seen that you wanted to jump into the food truck business because of the check that your boss cut to that guy. What other ideas? Because you also said that you knew you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and what I'm trying to get at this is that a lot of times you may have a couple business ideas that may not work out before you finally land on the one that actually is your niche and the one you're supposed to dive into. So, how many other ideas did you float around? How many did you actually try to execute before you finally landed on the food truck business?
So, my entrepreneurship, I got to kind of give you a little background before I hop right in. My entrepreneurship journey started when I was 13, actually at Opry Mills, which is where my hot dog stand is now. Um, we were homeless, living in our car, and I went into Opry Mills. I had my brother there, and we were walking around the mall all day. We would just get dropped off at the mall, and we would just walk. So, anyways, he sat down in front of this kiosk, in front of this booth, and my brother did, and he's like, my legs are tired, I'm not moving, I'm trying to rest. And I was like, come on, bro, let's go. I was like, I'm trying to get wherever we was going. Anyways, he plopped down there, and it was really what started my journey into entrepreneurship. So, y'all may know what they are on TV. Y'all know the as seen on TV infomercials.
Mm-hmm.
So there was for a while there was one on TV called ShamWow. Right, we in the mall, before it was on TV, we called it Super Shammy. It's this wet rag, they're probably 4x6. It's made of this material called viscose. And anyways, long story short, it's like a cleaning rag, and I lied about my age. I got a job there. I told them I was 17, and I started making strictly commission. I was making $5.50 a sale,
Yeah.
selling these rags to people. We were selling them for $24. You get 4 sheets. I would do a 3-minute demonstration, trying to get people to buy this product. And I was 13, 14 years old, making $1,000 a week legally.
Man,
I was putting some good bread in my pocket, and I was actually able to help my mom start paying bills and such. So I did that
No
for a long
longer
time.
homeless, sleeping in that car, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really moved us into better positions and helped us get an apartment. And we went from not having a lot to eat to eating, and that was the fuel to my fire right there. That's really when I realized I can I knew I had to go get it, but like now I understand how to go get it, like go work, put in, So just to kind of make a long story short, that's where the entrepreneurship journey started. I ended up working for other people for a long time. And I was trying to be a sponge, whoever I worked for, I wanted to be the best in that wherever I was at, I wanted to learn as much as I could so that I could do it on my own, so I didn't have to ask for help, so I learned a little bit from everywhere.
Yeah.
And I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to do something. So um, honestly, the past just like some small like little ideas that I came up with that that I jotted down on paper. I never tried to pursue anything um, really until Nash Dogs. Like Nash Dogs was the first big idea that I had, and once I started building it out, I've got a very creative mind. I ended up investing some money into this company that I created called Pinpoint Media Partners. So what that was, we were buying screens from Canada. We mount them on top of our car with like a roof rack. So it's a digital 4D or it's a digital 4K LED display on both sides of your vehicle, and it mounts to the on top of your car. And what I was doing is I was having people pay me 10 cents per ad for a 10-second spot on this TV screen. I would ride all around Nashville, I would go into bars and like just wherever, like out, liquor stores, and I would drive around and I would promote their businesses. I wanted to create a Uber model for that, like I wanted to buy 1,000 of these screens or 100 of these screens, how many ever, and put it on top of Lyft cards, put it on top of Ubers.
Yeah.
Huge investment. Like it was almost like the way that it's done is you take a picture with your phone or you create an ad in Canva, and then the screen has its own LTE card, so once you click upload, it uploads to a cloud and automatically downloads to the screen while the customer's standing there.
Oh,
So
that's
I had
dope.
this really cool model. Yeah, and then, I was making pretty good money off of it, but like it's with one screen, it's hard to
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the,
yeah.
and the pitch was, we'll drive around in your zip code and in the zip codes that you choose, then advertise your product, and then once we go into a zip code that you don't want to advertise into, or that you don't want to advertise in, the ad would come off the screen.
Gotcha.
Well, I ended up running into I couldn't be in more than one zip code at once, So I had several customers and it was just too much. So you asked me about another business idea. That's something I was pursuing. I ended up putting it on hold. I'm not going to call that business failed. I just don't have the money to get into it right now. So I moved into working and building Nash Dogs, trying to create that concept. It finished in March of 2020. That's when COVID happened. So I created a handyman business, and I started going around Nashville, like hanging TVs, painting. I'm a bit of a carpenter. I'm like really good at like building furniture. So I was doing private projects for folks. I created another company called Pinpoint Homes, and I had an Instagram account with a couple thousand people, and I was getting like a lot of word of mouth. And at the time that I'm fully transitioned into Nash Dogs, I was making about $1,000 a week just off of like little odd jobs here and there. And it got to a point to where I was turning down more work than I could say yes to. I started getting into doing like backsplashes and like more like bigger home renovations. But whole time, I had Nash Dogs sitting in the garage, and that's when my wife was like, "So what direction are you gonna go? Are you gonna stick with this handyman stuff, or are you gonna pursue Nash Dogs?" And honestly, it's been the best decision so far, just based on the time freedom that I have, and I'm able to serve people and make people smile. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I like to serve people, and I like to add joy and value to people's day, and I can do that 60, 70, 100 times in a shift, and it's quick transactions. I get them in, I get them out. They're happy with the food. Where we're doing like handyman stuff, you might be in somebody's house for like for myself, for my family, to create a generational wealth of knowledge and resources. And I just think that the food business it's not easily duplicatable, but it's more duplicatable than trying to hire a bunch of professionals that, you know.
So let me ask you this, Mike.
Company.
So when you started with your stand and you transitioned to your food truck, right? How was that? And I'm asking this question because I know for me, when we first opened up our coffee shop, right, the permit process with the health department was, man, there was a lot of red tape. So for you,
Georgia's not a great place.
Brand new, just getting started. How was that process for you? Right? Listen, because there was one area YouTube University couldn't really help me with. Right? It nothing could prepare me for the inspections and the paperwork. Like it was a task. So how was that for you going from a handyman to having to fill out all this paperwork, do the permits, get the inspections, get your health cards and all of that? How was that process for you?
So for me, you gotta kind of understand how I operate as a person. I don't like to do things and be told no. And I try to consider folks, you know, the people that are gonna say yes and no, the people that are gonna have an opportunity to affect the situation. So from day one, well, not day one, but like once I figured out that this is what I'm gonna do, here's how I do it. The next was like, all right, so what do we need to do to make it legal? Because I don't want to be told no. I don't want to be turned away. I'm a very determined person. I understand that there's like things in place. So whatever the situation is, I need to understand ABC. You know, 1, 2, 3. Like a lot of the food truck owners that I talk to, they just dive into it, you know, and then they're surprised, like when they go and they're like, "Oh crap, there's like these rules, regulations." I called the health department, and from day one, I told them exactly what I wanted to do, how I was trying to do it. I was very meticulous with it. I put it in emails. I would have a conversation on the phone, then I would follow up via email, and I would say, "Hey, here's what we discussed. This is what I'm going to do based off of that. Is that appropriate?" So every step of the way was advised by. I actually got in touch with the like the supervisor of the Nashville Health Department, and he helped me step by step on what I was supposed to do. So when I was ready to get out and go sell, I mean, I pulled up into the health department lot, and you know, I got permitted on the first time,
What?
and I really I attribute that to having the conversations with like with the folks, you know, and keeping them in the loop and having them understand. Because honestly, if I had not, I would have made mistakes. Because, like for example, on the hot dog stand, we ended up doing a stainless steel countertop. But originally, I wanted to do like a butcher board, like a butcher block.
Yeah.
But with that butcher block, it has to be if you can use it in some areas, but it has to be sealed with a food grade,
because it can hold
sealant.
Germs and all that.
Right. So that right there was a big like that would have been a big headache if I put a lot of time and money and energy into building out that countertop just to find out like, hey, like this ain't it.
Yeah, I learned that, Mike, that we had to because we did a wooden countertop and we had to put a epoxy seal on it.
Yeah, they're very meticulous about what they want to do, and what I learned is that every health inspector has a different way of enforcing the rules and regulations. They have some people focus on, you know, one thing more than the other, and then vice versa. So for me, it was really important to get in touch with like the head person. So when I called up there, I was like, so who is the manager? You know, that's who I want to be talking to. And it really it went from there. So when I transitioned to the food truck, it was a similar process. I'd already opened up in Opry Mills. The food truck came after that. But you know, it's just always been like I don't like try to suck up or brown nose to anybody, but I'm very big on conversation, and I want to respect like the thoughts they have about what it is that I'm trying to achieve. Because at the end of the day, that's the person that's just gonna pop up and inspect you, you know. And I can't honestly, to kind of sum it all up and put a bow on it, I can't deal with that anxiety. I need to know that like what I'm doing is the right way, and that I'm not wasting my time, energy, and money on it. I'm not gonna be told no. Just tell me how to do it, and I'll make sure it's done that way.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Randall, go ahead and ask him the big question, man.
Yeah, man. We always want to know what's people's vision, right? So we talked about where you are now, how you got here. So tell the viewers, tell the Forteers what you got in store. Like, what's your vision for 1 to 5 years for Nash Dogs?
So 1 to 5 years, I would like to really start growing to have a bigger impact on the community. I've got a huge heart into investing my time into the youth. I think that Nash Dogs has really started to become more of a vessel to be able to educate folks and help them become better versions of themselves, entrepreneurs, or just work on their family. You know, we're in it to make money, but everybody everybody's trying to create wealth for themselves, not because they want to, but because we're trying to take care of ourselves and take care of our families. So um, that's always been my drive, is to take care of my family and to take care of myself. And I understand that it's important to have other people along the way. I can't do it by myself. And I think it's important to invest my time and energy not into just people that are going to work with Nash Dogs, but, you know, people that are going to go do other stuff as well. Like, I hold classes around Nashville and some of the public schools, all the way from elementary up to high school. I do a financial literacy class, and we speak about entrepreneurship. It's about an hour long. I've got like different versions of it that I can kind of step down for, like a kindergarten class. I've got a version I can do for fourth grade, something I do for high schoolers. And, you know, the whole goal is just to invest my time and energy into helping people become better versions of themselves. And then also, as a result of that, Nash Dogs lifts up. So in 1 to 5 years, I'm trying to create a hub that's going to be not only service Nash Dogs and help me create my food truck goals, but also that can service the community, other food trucks, and then it can kind of start to work as an education platform. Because there's a lot of folks right now that will reach out to me. They ask me, like, how did you start? Why did you start? Like, what's your process? You know, can you help me with this? You know, what do you think about that? Like, the questions are endless, you know, and that's just in the food truck game. And then there's the other side of it where, you know, I come from a similar area, you know, as a lot of folks that are trying to come up, you know, and I can invest my time into helping them become, you know, financially literate, help them become entrepreneurs, or just kind of start to prepare themselves to actually get into the workforce. So that it's that's kind of the vision right there, really to invest my time into the community so that I can grow Nash Dogs into the national brand that I'd like for it to be. I feel like that in 5 to 10 years, we should start to have a really substantial presence within like the Southeast. And long term, I would really like to have a Nash Dogs in each state, you know, serve in different capacities. You know,
That's dope.
so there's no national hot dog brand right now. You know, that people know about Nathan's. You know about a Chicago dog. There's Pinks out in California, but I'll tell you about McDonald's. No matter where you're at in the world, if you want a cheap cheeseburger and you ask somebody, hey, where can I get a cheap cheeseburger? They're going to most likely say McDonald's. So what I'm trying to move into is, in 10 years, I want people to say, hey, where do you get a great hot dog at? Nash Dogs. And I want that to be the answer wherever you're at within the world. But, you know, it's going to be a lot of work. So trying to change the mindset about the quality of hot dogs. People really are not super into them. It's just now coming around to where people are interested in eating hot dogs on a regular basis. A lot of people have been kind of taught that it's not the greatest quality of food, which is why I do Angus beef. We grill it on a flat top, and we put a lot of love into what we do. So I'm hoping that I can impact the community and spread Nash Dogs around the nation so we can
That's
have
good,
as big impact
man.
as possible.
That's good, man. That's good. So listen, hey Mike, how can they get in contact with you? How can they reach you? How can they follow you on social media? To follow your journey. What's some good contact information for individuals that may want to follow you?
So all of the social platforms, it's going to be at Nash Dogs, NASHDOGS, at Nash Dogs. Also, NashDogs.com. Easiest way. to contact us is through email or phone number, both of which are on the social media and on our website.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, listen, Forte, as you all had the opportunity to hear from the one and only Michael Spencer of Nash Dogs in Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, Mike, we appreciate you, man, for taking time out your busy schedule and doing this interview live in your food truck. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Hold tight right quick. Bro, that was dope, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, the best part I like is how he was talking about, like, he reached out to the inspectors and got verbatim instructions and then went as far as getting an email like, oh, you said this? Oh, I'm going to make sure it's in black and white. So later on, if you switch your mind, but like, nah, I got an email where you concurred that this is what I got to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man. What got me was the 13-year-old that said he was 17 and, you know, helped get his family out of homelessness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely. That's dope, yeah.
You all homeless, sleeping in the car, but yet you find a way to get hired, right? You in this mall, and like that story alone is Tyler Perry movie worthy. Like,
that's
there's a movie written, there's a book, there's something. So his story, his life in general, man, his father being murdered, right? And then, you know, with his mom and living with his grandma and, you know, homeless, sleeping in the car, and 13 years old, walking around the mall with his brother, and, you know, probably just hoping somebody would feed them or whatever the case may be. And then he finds a way to say, you know what, I'm going to help my mom out. He, you know, we don't promote lying, but he used what he had to do to get what needed to get done.
I got a question for that.
Yeah.
Like, either Mike looked real mature for a 13-year-old or whoever hired him just didn't care. Like, this, like 13 to 17, that's a big gap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. He had to, man. It kind of, I remember this story. We was in the mall. This is Tower Mall, for those of you in the 7570, remember Tower Mall in Portsmouth. And I remember, man, when my brother, you know how they have them little cards you can fill out to win like a car or a trip, right?
Yeah.
My brother was like maybe 15, 14, man. And he filled one out and he lied and said he was 18, right? And bro, we grew up poor in the hood in Saratoga, man. You've been to the apartment, right?
Yeah.
I remember the people called. They called my mom's phone because that's the number he put down, of course, the house number, right? They called, man, and said Quincy Jones just won some vehicle. Bro, my mom had this 1985 Ford Tempo that had no power steering. And do you know when they called, she said, he ain't no 18. He lied.
Oh, man.
Bro, I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you serious right now, bro? And instead of her going with the flow to get the vehicle, man, she shut it down, bro. She shut it down. So when he said that story, I'm like, listen, man, his mom's is a trooper. For her to, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, do what you got to do, son. And it's legal. So that was dope.
And $1,000 a week, man.
Yeah.
$1,000, that's $4,000 a month for a 13-year-old, man. That's
balling. He said they ate well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, man, when I was selling CDs, man, you know, the mall was my spot. You know what I'm saying? Go to the mall, hustle them CDs off, and I was able to go to the food court and enjoy some Chinese food. You know what I mean? So that's what it was, man. But listen, yo, another fire episode, man. You know, we had some technical difficulties here and there, but you know what? We wanted to give it to you all raw because the fact that Mike was willing to put this on the schedule and to do so after working all day long on the food truck, like
he literally closed up shop and came on the podcast.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're going to get to taste the hot dogs before I do. You know what I mean? And hopefully we get to see Mike. Hopefully you get to see him live November the 2nd at the greatest event coming to Atlanta. Let me put it up here so y'all can know. The greatest event coming to Atlanta, the Forte Experience. Hey, November the 2nd. Go get your tickets right now. www.theforteexperience.com. www.theforteexperience.com, and make sure y'all go to nashdogs.com, baby. Go get them Nash Dogs. Listen, if you in Nashville, Tennessee, somewhere close to Nashville, Tennessee, go get your all Angus beef hot dog. What they call it? What is it? The glizzy? That's what Landon would say, Randall. Get that glizzy. Get that glizzy.
Yeah.
We out of here, man. We appreciate y'all.
Peace.